Hey there, Internet! You're looking fine and fit. I'm here once again with Side Salad for another episode of I Played a Thing, Demon Souls. Coming at you from Stonefang Tunnel here in the blacksmith shop of one legendary blacksmith himself, Ed, because we are going to make our Morion blade. You may notice that I have substantially fewer souls than I did when we left off last time, and that's because I kind of messed up with respect to how we were going to upgrade the weapon that we needed to upgrade to get the Morion blade. You have to do that from a +8 sword, and for some reason I had it in my head that swords were upgraded using sharpstone rather than hardstone. No, they use hardstone, so I had to buy a lot and farm a little from the lizards, but ultimately I did farm enough to get my original longsword that I started with the game with up to +8. And at +8, we can convert it to the Morion blade, and so we shall do so. There we go, our longsword +8. And combining that with the Storm Demon Soul that we just picked up from the Storm King, we get the next tool in our ridiculous magical domination. I'm nowhere near being able to upgrade anything else, right? That's a negative, and that's okay. We don't need to worry about anything else right now.
Hold on. Let me...
So, the Morion blade. There it is. A gnarled, thorned Morion large sword. A weapon born from the soul of the demon Storm King. In fact, it's the essence of the storm beasts. Beasts take pleasure in the peril of the wielder, and this blade largely increases that attack power. Which is a way of saying it works on dying attack up, just like the Clever Rat's Ring. And as I mentioned at the end of last episode, they stack multiplicatively. So if you are at less than 30 HP and you have the Morion blade in your offhand and the ring on your finger, you will get the combined effect of both. Pretty good stuff. And you may notice there that I do not actually have the dexterity to wield the Morion blade, and that's fine. All you have to do is hold it, you don't actually have to be able to use it correctly. So let's get back to the Nexus and get a couple levels, and then we will be ready to move on to our next stage. Ah, home again, jiggity jig. Now I really want some more magic slots. Because as it stands I have 3, and if I want to take Firestorm, that means I can't take anything else. And that will not do. So I'm going to concentrate on Will for a little while.
Lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted, so the world might be mended.
Still need more, huh?
So the world might mend.
Well, that calls for some soul eating. Certainly don't need the Dozer Axe. That is a strength weapon if ever there was one. Who knows, I might want regen one of these days. So we'll hang on to the Swollen Demon Soul. And I might as well trade in the Silver Demon Soul, even if I'm not actually going to use any of the spells it's attached to. I just like having them in case I feel like it. Having the option, you know? But we can munch down a bunch of other stuff.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether.
Okay, next level will do it. Just gotta get just shy of 19k. I can do that.
Art thou done? Thou seek then. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether.
There we go. That's the good stuff.
Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its art thou
Which means I can put one more spell into my armory. Now, if only I had one more slot, that would mean that I could take along Firestorm and Warding, which would be a great combination. Unfortunately, well, I don't have that additional magic slot, but that's something I'll keep in mind for the future.
I cannot have my... Thank you. As prom...
I ain't giving you anything right now, Frake. I'm just using you to assign my spells. Alright, we'll take off warding for now, much as I don't particularly want to. Now, I can't remember if the Maneater has better magic defense or fire defense. Matter of fact, give me just a second, I'm gonna check on that. Okay, Maneater's fire defense is garbage, so we shall take along Flamethrower and Firestorm. If the latter doesn't get him, then the former should be able to clean up. Or them, I should say. We do know the secret of the Maneater fight now.
Bring my pick.
Alrighty then, the discussion of Maneater probably tips you off to what I plan on doing next, and yes, that is going to 3-2. We're going to try and finish up with Latria this episode. Actually, do I have arrows? Let me just check my arrow supply. 91 could be a little better. I am going to stop by Blige's place, and then I will rejoin you once I've got my arrows restocked. Okay, that should account for that. I do so love Blige as a source of arrows. 5 souls a pop for wooden ones, unless you're looking to pack as much power as possible. It's a pretty damn good deal. So let us make our way into the inter-tower catacombs. Catacombs? Catwalks of Latria. And drop ourselves a heart. Gargoyles are so uncooperative sometimes about actually coming down and dealing with you face to face. Fire damage wasn't super exciting on this guy, actually. Wonder if our magic damaging sword will be any more impressive. That's pretty good. So Maneater gets hurt more by fire, at least according to the documentation. But gargoyles are a different story. I'm actually a little surprised by that, since Maneater just seems like a pair of super gargoyles. Lots of Moonlight Stone around here. That would be handy if I were looking to make the other class of magic weapon, not Crescent. But yeah, Dark Moonstone, really hard to come by. It's what I need for the Crescent weapon. I can reliably farm small splinters from the Reapers. Chunks occasionally. But there's really no easy way. Well, I take that back, you can buy the small splinters from Blige, but it's quite expensive to do so. Nope, I had the right idea, just took one step too far. Can't hypermode against gravity. Alright, that's one side down. You'd think that the old monk, or the demon possessing him in the form of the yellow cloth as it may be, would not want to anchor the giant heart with something quite as precarious as a bunch of very, very squishy, hollow-type people all chanting. I don't know, it just seems very, very easy for something to interrupt that. Such as I just demonstrated. Oh, hey, Yurt. Gotten yourself in trouble again, I see.
Are you here to fight the demons? If so,
Yep.
then help me escape this place. I am on your
Okay.
side. I have come to face the demons.
Bullshit.
Thank you. I will remember this. I am certain we will meet again.
That's right. I'll see you in hell.
Well, what have we here? Do you wish...
Now, if you send him flying over the edge and want to get his equipment, then you can do that by quitting and reloading. And his supplies will just appear at the spot where he fell off the edge, as is the case in most Souls games. But the Gloom armor is heavy, I don't really want it, and so I'll just let it plunge. I don't have a lot of spare carrying capacity right now. Well, now I have 2 of those. Unfortunately, they do not stack. More often than not, the question to will it stack in Demon Souls is yes, but not 2 fragrant rings, alas. That'd use up both my ring slots anyway, and, well, we need a little more versatility than that. The game does tend to leave Augites of Guidance around parts that are difficult to navigate. There's a bunch of them in Stonefang too, I believe. And that's a place that certainly needs them. I don't think I'll ever get tired of the way their heads semi-explosively pop off with a noticeable amount of force. It'd be even funnier if you could get hit by them, although that would be a very frustrating way to die. I always gotta let that one play. I just find it terribly satisfying to drop the heart. That said, I'm not sure what's creepier. The fact that it's full of centipedes, or that it had a very clear hand kind of clinging to one of the columns there. It's a pretty fucked up heart. He just completely lost interest. Well, if that's how he wants to work it, that's okay by me. Anything to make my life a little easier. That is a good pile of spice. I value that ever so much more with this style of playing than I did with the previous melee-focused one. But that also brings us to Maneater. There we go. This, by the way, is what the Morion blade looks like in your hand. I can't help but think that kind of hilt isn't very safe. It'd be rather easy to stick yourself with it, wouldn't it? Anywho, I have my Ring of Magical Sharpness on. I have Dying Attack up from both the Morion blade and the Clever Rat's Ring. But you remember when I said that any kind of damage would be boosted by the Morion blade or the Clever Rat's ring? That does apply to magic, as I pointed out. It also applies to arrows. And you've seen me do the Maneater fight properly. Well, this time I think I'm not gonna. And we can see the breath of the Maneater up there. Oop. No, we need first person. There we go. Did that hit? I don't think it did. There we go. Now, interestingly enough, although I prefer the lava bow in almost any set of circumstances, not having the lava bow, or at least having a decent bow that isn't the lava bow, is important here, because if you inflict the fire damage animation on Maneater here, it'll actually knock him out of arrow range. But since we have a normal sort of arrows, we can just sit here and do this all day. Now, at this range, wooden arrows would be doing practically nothing were I not equipped with my Morion blade in the offhand and my Clever Rat's ring. Doesn't benefit any from my Ring of Magical Sharpness, but yeah, just having those double dying attack up damage boosts on my arrows makes this go much, much easier. This is actually much quicker than it would take to bring down the Red Dragon from one of the towers in 1-2. And just like that, we have pre-snuffed one of the Maneater twins with a little exploit. And now we can finish the second one off, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, with a very high-powered Firestorm with our dual-wield configuration. Now, the hitch here, of course, is that any kind of hit is probably going to kill me. So I'm going to keep my shield up until the very last in hopes that I can ward off a killing blow. But yeah, this is kind of risky. But if it works, it's going to be oh so satisfying. There we go, Maneater number 2 is already on the battlefield because number 1 is already dead. But where is it hanging out? Oh, I see you. I see you, you troublemaker, you. Nope, I completely whiffed that. And we have to play this with a little bit of care. Just because getting hit will end the experiment immediately. Yeah, you go ahead and power up. Just give me an opportunity. Motherfucking one-shot. That's revenge for all the many, many times Maneater's killed me. So this actually wouldn't have even been all that hard without the exploit if they go down in a single cast of Firestorm this way. I'd probably just run in and murder the one and then do the same thing I just did with the second one. The first one wouldn't even get a chance to call for help before its health was completely gone. Well, that is just satisfying as all get out. Now, I could just go on up ahead and deal with the old monk right away, but I'm gonna head back to the Nexus first so I can spend some of these souls, and also so I can change my magic loadout a little bit. Oh, and Nexus side. Can't forget about Nexus side. Alright, properly corpseified. Let's go spend. Okay, level upper, where are you? Oh, is that her up by patches? Yes, it is. Never thought you two would be the types to hang out together.
Then soul of the mind, key to
Alright, we've been focusing on our will for a while, so let's do something else now. I think our magic power is doing pretty okay right now.
Might be mended.
Instead, I will grant myself some endurance for starters.
Without main.
As I've previously discussed, the mixed demon soul that you get from Maneater is garbage, because the only thing it can be used to make is garbage, that being the Needle of Eternal Agony, one of the more useless weapons in the game. And it is just satisfying as hell to eat Maneater's soul anyway. Just by far my most hated boss.
Then
Not to say it can't be a fun fight. It can be fun. It's certainly a challenge. It can just be very frustrating sometimes.
withdrawn from its vessel. Without main.
I think I'm gonna try and get one more. Make a little more use out of those consumables and just spend all I got. How much was it I needed?
Soul of the mind, key to
Oh.
life's ether.
That worked out fairly well.
Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be without main.
Alrighty, so here's my thinking. The old monk is a pretty small target. Just NPC-sized, really. So Firestorm can knock down on human scale opponents, I believe, but I'm still not thinking we're going to get a great amount of hits off of it. And the AI on the old monk, when you're facing a CPU-controlled one, seems to favor getting up in your shit, just like sticking to you like mold on cheese. So I'm thinking being able to backpedal while I fire away would be a good thing.
Our human.
Hence, I am going to take Fire Spray. Actually, you know what? I could take Fire Spray and Firestorm, because I don't really need Flamethrower if I'm taking Fire Spray. Yeah, that seems like a solid loadout. I could take Fire Spray and Warding. Actually, that's the more sensible course of action. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Bring me more. I patient.
Oh, I should have a demon soul for you pretty damn soon. Radio, I'm going to take care of a little inventory business here, and then I will meet you in 3-3. Yeah, I don't think we really need to watch that one again. We got a few centipedes here, but our main concern, of course, is the whole Black Phantom Mind Flayer thing. They will always see us coming. And we don't really have very loose quarters to deal with them. Can't go for the backstab or sneaking up on them in any way. I have half a mind to shoot it out with Fire Spray, but their soul arrow type thing is just so deadly. And then, of course, there's always the concern of possibly getting hit with one of their immobilizing electric balls, and then the tentacles will kill you. Dude, can you not see me from this distance? Okay. Well, I'll fill you full of some of these after all. Wanna come get me? No? Alright. Hell no. Gotta mind that AoE. Oh, and now he's gonna go back to his starting point. I can get some hits in behind him. Also, he's bleeding. And we get the good drop, too. Absolutely fabulous. I'm finding the Mind Flayers actually have weaker senses than I thought. I really expected that one would be able to see me from around the corner. And even after he did see me, he lost interest really fast. I'm okay with this. That's the lovely thing. They always come running once they've thrown their electric ball, even if it didn't hit you. I guess they assume you're going to get paralyzed. And come to do their tentacle thing on you. But when they are aware of your presence, I don't want to get too greedy, lest they hit you with that big old AoE of theirs. But that is no longer our concern. Alright, there's our boss door. You can see the old Nacho Bugle on top of the old Monk NPC there. So I'm just gonna chill here for a bit, put the Makoto in my hand, and get myself ready for hyper mode. I will see you then. Alright, failsafes deactivated. Limiter disabled. Cannon ready. Let's make some monk chunks. Actually, before I make monk chunks, I should probably put one of these on. I don't know that it would save me, but it doesn't hurt to be a little cautious. Fire spray still is not very strong, but it is bringing them down bit by bit. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned in the past, it has absolutely no stopping power whatsoever. It will not do stun or stagger of any kind on anybody, but it sure got the job done. Right about now, if this were the good old days of Demon's Souls, I would be hoping for a drop of the Monk's Head Collar, which is that bugle thing he wears on his head. The Monk's Head Collar, in a perfect world, is the final component of Magical Brokenness, because it has the same effect as the Chris Blade, or Chris Knife in this version. That is to say, it decreases your magic defense, but increases your magic offense by 30%. So, in addition to having the Morion blade out, the Clever Rats and Magical Sharpness ring on, we could also have the Monk's Head Collar and add 30% more multiplicatively to that. As if, we weren't already enough of a death machine. Unfortunately, in the post-online Demon's Souls, when the official servers are down, you're not going to have that happen because you do have to defeat another player as the old monk. The NPC will never give you the Monk's Head Collar. Alas. but just imagine what might have been. Back at the Nexus. Body discarded, souls reclaimed. Let's go shopping.
Thou seekest then soul of the mind, key to life's ether.
Let's see.
Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its
Endurance is always good.
vessel. Let strength be granted.
I could munch up some consumables, put myself at 22 easily enough, I think.
The world might be mended.
22181, I can remember that.
Art thou main?
That'll do.
Then
And it should be just enough as well.
soul of the mind, key to
Little health?
life's ether.
Our MP is actually catching up to our health, and we can't have that, can we?
Drawn from its art thou main?
And now we are faced with the question of what to do with the yellow demon soul, obtained from defeating the old monk. We have an extraordinary 4 choices of what we want to do with it. One of them we can eliminate right away. Trading it to Urbane would get the Vanish Miracle, and all that does is send Black Phantoms home. Since we're not in any danger of being invaded, that is entirely pointless to us. Alternately, we could take it to Uria and get, I believe, Soul Thirst. Let me check that. Yeah, Soul Thirst. That is a very expensive spell, and all it does is increase the number of souls you get from enemies for a while. Really not worth it to us. Now, if we took that to Ed, we could make the Insanity Catalyst, which is somewhat compelling. The Insanity Catalyst is the strongest magic casting tool in the game. It is the only one better than the Talisman of Beasts. However, it reduces your MP by half, which is a pretty big trade-off. Now, what I think I will do is choose the last option, which is give it to Frake for Moving Soul Arrow. I don't know how much I'll actually use that, but it's a quality spell. And we're all about the offensive magic, right? Yeah, it takes 2 slots. And I don't know that we're going to have 2 slots to spare anytime soon. But, you know, we've got it. I don't want to buy anything while I'm here, do I? Do I want light weapon? No. No, I don't.
Bring me
I'm actually going to get Cursed Weapon, which I really doubt I'll be using, because the health drain does not go well with Hyper Mode when you're at low health. But I just like having it. It's such a powerful spell.
Are you very...
Yeah, and look at the MP and the slot cost. Uria's spells tend to be great, but very costly.
Thank you.
Alright then. What do I want to take with me to your favorite and mine, the old VOD?
Let me. I am 1 hour.
Oh, we don't want to learn, we want to remember. Let's take off Fire Spray. Take off Warding. And we will take Flamethrower and Firestorm. That should do nicely. Everything in the Valley of Defilement is very weak to fire, including Leechmonger, so I'm thinking we should be able to have some fun with this stuff.
Bring me.
Okay then, I think what I'll do is make a little trip into Filthy Hell. We'll try and get through Leechmonger, and then we will call it a day. Actually, it would be wise if I fixed up my gear first, wouldn't it? Now we should be ready. You know, now that we're here, with the enemy's fire weakness in mind, I find myself wondering if our Crescent Falchion +4 will do more damage to the Depraved, or if the Dragon Longsword +4 would. I'm actually quite curious, because the Dragon Longsword has the fire element and a high base damage, but no scaling whatsoever, whereas the Crescent Falchion scales quite heavily off our magic stat. So I can see this going either way. Let us find a Zako to test it on. Okay, nearly one shot with the Crescent Falchion. Pretty good. Now let's pull this monkey out and find another sucker to test it on. Oh, I see a victim. And I got a victim's attention. Well, actually, I'm not sure if he has any way of getting up here. You know, I don't think he does. Fire Sword wins! Okay, guess we'll be rocking the longsword for a little while, folks. Sadly, no lava bow this time, so this is less ridiculously effective. Still takes out more than half of their health, though. Depraved are not very tough. Did I do this last time? I don't remember that I ever got that before. Maybe I did. Oh well, there's a talisman here. And some anti-plague medicine. Also, little ticks all over the corpse here. That's nasty, but then again, that's the Valley of Defilement for you. That's kind of its hat. Well, I have made it to Filthy, and it occurs to me I'd kind of like to have some rotten arrows. I can only afford 2 right now. I might pop a consumable or 2 and grab me some more. Yep, I'll be generous. That's why I'm doing this.
Please.
Can't actually carry all that many on account of my equip load right now, but 20 is a pretty decent quantity. And now I won't be losing much if I die.
Finished all my little one.
Oh, I just gave you 2,000 souls. It's gotta be good for at least some gruel or something. Filthy woman means rat country. I wonder how these guys feel about fire. They don't like it. But it's really not necessary when this works so well. And now we come to your friend and mine, good old Mr. Lumberfuck. This is actually a bit concerning because I don't have warding. So I'm just going to have to not get hit. But a flamethrower or 2 ought to change his attitude. Not as much as I hoped. Ugh. Thank goodness this is the New Game Cycle 1. Would have been very dead even through my guard in New Game Plus. The important thing is, it worked. Hey, dodging back and using that lunge actually works pretty damn well on them. Lesson learned. So really, since the dragon weapons aren't at all dependent on your stats as long as you have the stats to use them, that would work with any build. Neat. And now it is getting to be just about time for the old Leechmonger. So I'll get down to the fog gate. I will set myself up for some hyperactivity, and we will take a big old risk. Those are some wicked-looking saw teeth on Makoto. I don't know that I ever noticed those before. Okay, we've got our rings in place. We have got our Morion blade ready to go. Talisman of Beasts, of course, at the ready. Now, I have to admit, I find this kind of worrying. Leechmonger is not a difficult boss, generally speaking, but you saw last run how things can go bad if you're not careful. And worse than that, Leechmonger at melee range doesn't exactly have a graceful attack pattern. He just kind of tantrums his limbs all over the place. So getting in my Firestorm might be very tricky indeed, but Leechmonger's fire defense is abysmal, so I'm pretty sure it ought to one-shot him. If I can make that happen, that'd be lots of fun. Now, Leechmonger can regenerate. If you have the lava bow, you can actually shoot him from here and beat him from the very first area beyond the fog gate. It gets a little harder in New Game Plus because you have to out-damage him before he can heal himself, and that is a more difficult thing the second time around. But I don't have the lava bow, and I don't feel like cheesing this anyway. You want to get in that Firestorm and make the magic happen. And now we hope and we pray that I don't get hit by a leech ball before I can get in range. That would suck. Because the leech balls do hurt pretty good. Oh. Using crescents so I don't get out of my hyper mode. No leech balls, please. Oh, I lost my hyper mode. Well, we'll just stay close so he keeps lashing out. I am losing health, right? Yep, I am leechy. Good. Okay, hyper mode re-engaged, and we go for the big nuke. Success! Oh, that's good eating. That's real good eating. Generally, I don't tend to lose to Leechmonger, but I've had some stupid deaths to him. In fact, you saw one of them last cycle. So revenge is still kind of fun. Didn't mean to do that. But hey, there's no kill like overkill, right? Alright, is that all the prizes? Yeah, I think that's all the prizes. So let's go home. Man, I just noticed how few souls Leechmonger gives you. He's a cheap sack of worms. Oh well, can't say it isn't commensurate to the effort we actually had to put in killing the thing. Leechmonger's soul we could take to Urbane and get Cure. I don't particularly want Cure. Status effects are not that big a deal, and there are plenty of consumables to take care of them, so we're going to get the far more useful Poison Cloud.
I can't have... Thank you. As
Bane of NPCs everywhere.
Bring me more...
Well, that is bringing us pretty damn close to the end. All we've really got to do at this point is the slog, and then 1-4, and we are all set. It will be time to go take on the true King Allant in his not terribly threatening but plenty grody form. Well then, friends, I hope you've enjoyed another visit to the land of Boletaria, some of the uglier parts of it, but we got to do some really fun boss kills, if not particularly sporting ones, and that's good enough for me. Take care, everyone. This time I know I'm not going to see you before it, so a very happy Halloween to you all. And I look forward to our paths crossing once again. Until then, this is signing off. Today's Hellfire and Damnation has been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, Dodecalope, Jarogue, Martin Showadmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, Jazel, Joseph Hall, Dan Larson, K. Ivan Rupert, Tiny Shopkeeper, Charlie Dunst, Kikoskia, Kobo4231, Yuka Takeuchi Fan, Chaotic Narrative, Mystery Accent, Lakota, Mei Yan Ling, Renaman, Fate Everywhere, Rio, TJA, Sparkazile Lefzer, Super Pervert 69, and other smoking hot patrons. Thank you all so much. As always, I am grateful and touched that you find my output worthy of your hard-earned dosh, and I shall ever try to be worthy of it. Comment crew, subscribers, and all you good folks out there, thank you too for coming along on these little flights of fancy. Be well, eat all the candy you want because you're a grown-ass adult, and I will be back soon for what should be the finale of Demon's Souls. I'm looking forward to it. Hello out there, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a good time, and I've been glad to have you. If you enjoyed this video, new subscribers always brighten my day, and if you really dig my stuff and would like to support me on Patreon, I shall be very grateful indeed. You're also invited to go with the stream every Friday at twitch.tv/unplayedathing. Thank you again, and have a good one.